Hello, everybody. Welcome to another night of Wednesday Night Dash here on Stadium Scene TV. My name is Eli Singh. You can call me Punju. You can find me on all social medias under the handle at Punju. And we are here for the Daily Dribble 70 at Kansas Speedway in Kansas City. Oh my Lanta Lordy. This is going to be an amazing race tonight. This is the penultimate round of the championship here in Season 5 for Wednesday Night Dash. And will this track give us crazy racing? Absolutely. Check out the track map right here. We got 4 corners as we do on most ovals. 1.5 miles open in 2001 with some notable turns. 18 to 20 degrees with about 9 to 11 degree banking on the front straight and a 5 degree banking on the back straight. It's a relatively banked out track, almost no spots where it goes totally flat. So every single driver will be a little bit off kilter tonight. Hopefully their driving won't be off kilter. We got 15 minutes of open qualifying tonight and 70 laps to go for the race itself. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. The competition caution will happen on lap 35. It is, I'm sure it's going to be absolutely crazy. You know, we've talked a little bit about the standings throughout this season, and after last week's crazy win by Caden McAravey, the championship has gotten insanely close. I mean, check this out. We got Tyler Vickery at 86 points, but Colton Gardner's just behind him at 85. And then Caden McAravey has flown his way up the standings, now sitting at 81 points in third, and Eric Richardson, a fall from grace, down in fourth after leading the championship for so long. Brian McKinney's still also in it. He's only 13 points away from the lead in fifth, and then the gap starts to spread to Scott McCarris in 6th, Hunter Hughes in 7th, Mark Vickers in 8th, DJ Fluck in 9th, and Justin Nieves in 10th. As our top 10, Eric Blum in 11th, Kyle Fluck in 12th, and Justin Wexberg at the back, tied for 12th with 0 points. I think tonight, Tyler Vickery has to win to confidently go into the final round next week at Phoenix, feeling good. I think that if he doesn't, he's going to be emotionally vulnerable, for lack of a better term, to Colton Gardner in that tight gap. And I know Tyler Vickery, he's had a couple silly mistakes throughout the season, so we obviously don't want to see that happen, but it does sometimes happen when the pressure's on, and so we want to make sure that doesn't happen, obviously, for him, given the best chance possible. Remember, tune in next week, the season finale, same time, 10:15 Eastern at Phoenix Raceway. And in about a month from that, we will be taking a month off, and then we're going to be kicking off our first ever Wednesday Night Dash GT3 series for 8 races. We'll be publishing the schedule and more information here soon, so please keep a lookout for more information about the league on stadiumscene.tv, and the registration for next season is now open if you want to come race with us. And I do want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, The Daily Dribble. They are so awesome. If you guys want to check this out, you just would be, joining the hosts, Nick Zammit, Ro Hancock, and Liam Hancock, as they host their Tasmania, Australia-based show to talk about all things NBA. Previews, reviews, breaking down the hottest news and topics from around the league, and everything in between. You can download this podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, or you can tune in on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Stadium Scene TV. Speaking of Stadium Scene TV, let's give some love to our friends at the House of Hockey. This episode of House of Hockey, Breezy and Ray discuss the NHL trade deadline moves. In addition, the Nashville Predators announced a new general manager, Barry Trotz, as he's already sending emails to Breezy. The New York Rangers and Toronto Maple Leafs haven't found their groove post-trade deadline. Download wherever you listen to your favorite podcast as well, or tune in on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on Stadium Scene TV. Now here tonight, I do want to give a big shout out to our friend Hunter Hughes, who's here in the booth with us. Hunter, say hello. Welcome. We're gonna have a fun race, aren't we? Oh, right now the qualifying is just about to finish up, and as of right now, we've got Colton Gardner sitting in the lead by 0.04 of a second. Are you looking at the standings right now? Oh, he did. Yep. He's got it. Wow. Caden McAravey. Looking good. My qualifying order is about to all fully roll through. There it is. Yep. Caden McAravey has 31.6 0.176. Colton Gardner, 400ths of a second down from that. Mark Vickers, 200ths of a second down from Colton. Wow. Brian McKinney in fourth. We got Tyler Vickery just squeezing his way into fifth. And then outside of Tyler Vickery, we've got Justin Nieves, Eric Richardson, DJ Look, rounding out the bottom three to make 8 racers here tonight. And we have a Tomato Timmerman. Don't know who that is, but
still on baby watch.
Interesting. Someone says they're still on baby watch. Go ahead and turn those chatters off. Oh my Atlanta. Hunter, are you excited for tonight? What are you expecting to see here?
No, I think it's gonna be interesting because Kansas is, with its banking, you see all 3 lines work at different points of the race.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine we're gonna have the usual people running up high, and then I feel like we're gonna see people that like to take risks, kind of like Mark or Brian or Justin, trying to hit that low line. And actually, Tyler Vickery is now on pole, setting a 31.098.
There he goes. The fast lap. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's a whole 10th ahead of Colton. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Tyler, I think he's really gonna need this race win to, give him ultimate confidence going into the final round in Phoenix next week. So he's the one I'm looking out for to really be going hard charging from start to finish. Outside of that, who knows who could be the dark horse? I could see someone like Caden McRavy having another awesome, race this week. So we'll definitely see. Now, you're obviously not driving here tonight. Your experience driving here, what line do you prefer to take?
Well, in practice, I was kind of all over the place because I was trying to find my groove, and when I would say in the early, you're probably going to see drivers run the middle line to try and save their tires a bit. Maybe even up top, I think like the usual top running contenders like Caden McRavy and Colton. I know in seasons past they're always running that high line.
Yep.
I think that they're gonna stay ripping the top and saving their tires, and then we're gonna see how well the track rubbers in and grips in. It's nighttime, so the track's pretty cold.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Yeah, it's gonna make a big difference, especially on this opening lap where track plus tires being cold. High chance of errors happening on the opening lap. Would you say?
Mm-hmm.
At least higher than usual. Now, obviously, most of these drivers usually don't make those off the line mistakes, but it does happen every once in a while, and we don't like to see it, but at the same time, we kind of like to see it.
Yeah.
Just for the action. It's why it's fun. We got 20 seconds left until the pace car is gonna get out of the pits and let us go racing here. This 20 seconds feels like it's been an hour. It's suspense is killing me for this. This last round is gonna be wild, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see who comes out on top. I think my personal favorite for the race here tonight, I think the person who seems to get luckiest in the craziest places is both Caden McRavy and Colton Gardner. So those are the two that I'm kind of looking at as might just get lucky in the chaos. But Tyler Vickery, if he gets a good start, then I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think Colton just needs to stay consistent, and because he's starting third, a lot can happen in these races, as we've seen this season. Like, anything can happen pretty much. So he just needs to stay there and save his tires and not be too aggressive.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah,
and I think he'll have.
Oh. I was going to ask. Speaking of saving tires, do you think some of these drivers are going to be trying to play it cool and really try to save those tires, especially for that second half, or do you think most of them are just going to be kind of going sprint mode?
I think for this first half, everyone's going to be trying and to see what they got. So I would imagine we would see pretty hard racing in the beginning, and then by the second half, I imagine that we're going to see them kind of spread out for the first bit, and then race near the end.
Well, I'm hoping for the more racing, the better, as it looks like we already have a pace car going in. We're getting ready to go racing here. We got the lights. We've almost got the green flag. We got the green flag, and Tyler Vickery gets a pretty solid start. The number 3 car on the top side, not quite as good as I would think he would get, but right behind him, it looks like that is Mark Vickers. He's trying to find his way through. Mark Vickers might actually get in front of Colton Gardner. Going into turn 1, does not quite. Very close.
As we see Brian McKinney on the bottom, like I was saying.
Yep, you knew.
Yeah, as we see the top line kind of working.
It's working really well, actually. That 3 car, the 84 car, both of them holding up there plenty fine. I feel like they might have a lot of grip up there right now, too. You know, a little bit less turning angle they have to put down. Oop, that's a very low line from, it looks like, was that Colton Gardner who just went below the apron? I think it was. Whoopsies.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, was that on purpose or was that an accident? If it was an accident, it was a great save. If that was on purpose.
I think it was on purpose because here at Kansas, there's just the one solid white line, which means that it is legal to go below the white line.
That is true.
So
right now, the tires can kind of take that extra beating, so I think it might not be a terrible idea to do that just to get a position. But it's not really working out for him. Oh, yeah. He's really going low.
Yeah.
A couple people are going down there.
Yeah, the top line is... The top line is definitely the preferred line. As we see.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Like, you know, you'd think that people would catch on to that really quickly, but like Nieves and Colton Gardner both keep going down underneath that white line, underneath the apron, just to get a little bit extra time, but it's not really working for them. I mean, Justin Nieves is, you know, falling back pretty far. He's barely keeping in touch with the pack. Top, Tyler Vickery just still holding down a lead. That's kind of how he wants it. He wants it to be boring. He wants to stay up in front and have no drama behind him. Everybody else wants there to be, you know, oodles and oodles of drama, so they got a shot to get in front. Let's take a look at POV of Colton Gardner. He's sitting in 3rd or 4th right now. You can see those 3 cars in front of him are actually pretty well spread out away from him. Nobody really bumper to bumper at this stage of the race already, which is pretty impressive that they've all spread out. You think they're going to start closing up pretty soon, Hunter?
I think so. I think that gap between 2nd and 3rd is closing a bit. As we see Mark trying to work on Caden. Caden's blinking a lot on my end, and I think that's hurting his speed. Yeah. But I also think that's hurting the whole pack to the leader. It's allowing Tyler to get a bit of a gap because Caden keeps blinking in and out.
I was gonna say I've been seeing him blink quite a bit, so it's definitely not just you. And if I was, you know, Mark Vickers, who's sitting right behind him, that would definitely rattle my confidence, honestly, to get up really close to him, because I wouldn't want to, you know, be right on his gearbox and out of nowhere he just reappears. Speaking of on his gearbox, look at him go. He makes a move on the 24. Nice one down low. We were talking about the high line being preferred. He's gonna cut off the 24 and blinks away.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be... He's still not clear, and I don't think he's going to be able to get clear entering... Oh, actually, he did get clear.
I know, wow. He cut right up in front of him. I think he only got clear because Tyler may have been a little bit scared.
Yeah.
I mean, like, man, he is barely even on that track. I think he's spending more than half the time, you know, ghosted out and blinked than he is actually driving. You can tell where he is based on the sparks. I think that's what the drivers are probably looking at, is just looking for sparks.
Yeah, we see Tyler using that middle lane. He seems to be one of the only ones hitting the middle versus the top lane right now.
Yeah, he is going a little bit lower.
He's side by side.
Yeah, he's not rocking out too wide. Obviously playing it smart and wants to make sure he's not going to get too close to that blinking car, because, like I said, you know, if you accidentally spawn, you know, inside of a blinking car, well, that can be race over immediately. Ooh, almost taps each other in the wall, actually. Tyler Vickery's going to go super low underneath the apron. Start finish line on his way into lap 9, and will almost have the move done, but still not quite. I think he might by the end of turn 2.
How about that?
Good in front of it.
They're side by side on the backstretch, and you could just see that run that the top line gets.
Wow. Yeah, he just
exiting the corner.
Disappears. He's really quick out of that corner.
I don't think Tyler wants to stay on this bottom line for too much longer because that's eating his tires and he's kind of not really going anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, if I were him, I would say, hey, just go ahead and stick behind for a few laps. Hold the draft. Don't make a move at making a pass quite yet because, you know, he has to psychologically worry about the blinking car. But Caden doesn't have to worry about it at all because he can't tell he's blinking, you know?
Yeah.
But he's just kind of running his race, and I think it'd be smarter for Tyler just to stay behind and play it safe. Speaking of playing it safe, Colton Gardner is doing that right now. He's staying behind Mark Vickers, not trying anything fancy. Saying, hey, 4th place is good for now. No need to press your luck, right?
Yeah, it's still early.
Yeah.
We still have that
early.
comp yellow.
Yep. And that always shakes it up. Now, Justin Nieves needs a shake-up because he's sitting in the back behind Eric Richardson. And I am just so amazed with what's happened to Eric Richardson. I mean, after such a dominant first half of the season, these last few races have just gone as not his way as possible.
Yeah.
It's just really tough to see, you know. I thought he was going to run away with it. But now that we're, you know, at the second to last round, he's barely even in the top 5.
Yeah.
Wild.
His win at, I think his first win was
The first race.
Talladega. He won Talladega, right?
Yep. Won
Yeah.
the first 2. He won the first 2 races.
Right. Yeah, Michigan, he kind of scared me at Michigan because he saved his tires so well in that second half that he just shot by us like we were standing still. He went from, I think, 6th to 1st in a matter of a lap and a half.
Wow.
That was impressive. That was super impressive. And then Talladega,
Yeah,
I mean, anything happens at Talladega. Talladega was a crapshoot in my mind.
That was a wild race. That definitely was. I will say, from a spectator's point of view, it was pretty nuts, too. Hey, speaking of a wild race, I mean, look at how far away Caden McRavy is gapping them out right now because of, I think it's really just due to the confidence of the fact that, you know, Tyler can't push, knowing that there's a chance he ends up, you know, literally fusing with a blinking car. I wouldn't be pushing.
Yeah.
I'd be holding back.
I think Tyler's going to start falling off a bit. I see Colton Gardner is looking to make a move under the 84 now.
Yeah, I'm on his cockpit cam right here.
And both the 84 and the 40 are getting kind of a good run on this 24 car. He burnt all of his tires up by going low all those laps. And as we see Colton Gardner getting past both of them, what a nice move. As now we see the 84 following suit.
Yeah, he's going to drop low. Smart.
And now that 40 car can set his sights on that 3.
Now it's a big gap right now. It's 1.4 seconds separates the top 2. That's a big gap here on an oval. So I don't know, you know, even setting his sights on it right now, I think really he should just set his sights on not getting past. Because if he holds this for the next, he's only got 20 more laps to hold it, and these are really quick laps. That's only 10 minutes to hold this position. You know, he'll be able to get into that competition caution in a very, very good spot. I think that's probably the right move to just not really worry about necessarily chasing down the leader, but just don't let yourself get passed up. Which seems to be working, because now he has oh wow, a pretty big gap actually behind him. He's got half a second now behind him between Colton and Mark Vickers. So Mark is falling back a little bit, not able to keep up.
Yeah, that's one thing that I absolutely praise about Colton Gardner is he is super good at saving tires. Michigan showed, although for the first half of Michigan, I'm pretty sure I led most of that. But after that, he'd like once Colton Gardner gets out of the way of everybody else, he can just set his sights on saving tires, and he does it better than anyone in our league, in my opinion.
Yeah, he is pretty skilled there. Now, I think it's a very useful skill to have. However, I think the competition caution, for lack of a better term, not necessarily changes its usefulness, but changes its, you know, when it's useful. Not if it's useful, but when it's useful. And I think that second stint is where Colton Gardner seems to always do super well.
Yeah.
that second half of the race. So I think that's really down to his tire saving, because right now, I think that for this first 35 laps is all about a sprint. Just go as crazy as you can. It seems to be what the best drivers do, the ones that win frequently.
We got a bit of a.
I was gonna say, speaking of someone who wins frequently, can't believe that Tyler Vickery is just holding down fourth right now, pretty far away from the pack.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we got kind of a battle shaping up between that 84 and 24. They're
tight.
within, say, probably half a second of each
Yeah,
other.
It's about 3/10. Yep, about 3/10 out. So that gap will close real quick if there's one mistake from the 84. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take a look at his onboard. See what he sees. You can notice that the car is ahead of him. Colton Gardner, 2.5 seconds. Does make a mistake. Colton Gardner
he gets
so far away.
Yeah, he gets into the wall there, and now they're going to be racing. I don't know how hard they're going to be racing, because since it is just third and fourth. But as we see Tyler Vickery
move
on the outside, is that he gets by him.
He gets them easy. Yeah, that's crazy how all it takes is one little tap into the wall, and you're gonna lose that position like that. You blink and you miss it. Speaking of blink and you miss it, Brian McKinney has just been sneaking back up, slowly but surely, and now he's basically up in the fight with these two for the final podium position. So Mark and Tyler need to watch out for this dark horse. Brian McKinney in that Milwaukee Tools car is very quick, and he's really on a run right now, catching back up with them. Holy, what the heck?
Oh, yeah, I was just about to say, Brian McKinney's slowly catching these people, and yeah, look at this run on the outside he's getting.
Wow. I was going to say slowly catching. I don't know about that. I think he's very quickly catching at this rate. He's flying.
Yeah, I think these back markers have just been saving their tires all race, as these front runners have just been pushing hard, and now we're seeing that overlap as we're about halfway into this first stint.
Yeah. And there goes Brian McKinney looking for a low pass. Doesn't have it. Maybe we'll have it here, though, into 3.
He sends it in, but
probably a little bit he's probably let off a little bit more than he really wanted to, but it probably is enough. Oh, that's a big tap from 84. Oh, they're both out. That's a big one. And it might cut across and hit somebody. Nope, it doesn't, but it is a totally spun around number 8 car. 100% backwards, gets back on track. DJ dodges. Oh, he's blinking a little bit. He's back on track, but oh man, they were doing it so good too. That is tough. Colton Gardner, obviously is not too mad about it. Colton and Caden, Tyler are all just fine, but shoot, we hate seeing that. Mark Vickers and Brian McKinney both colliding. After it looked like it was Mark Vickers went wide, tapped the wall, came back down into him. Let's take a look at that replay. See exactly what happened here. Yep, so we're going to take this out from the cockpit point of view. The 84. Mark Vickers, he's coming around, it looks like turn 3. Yep, taps the wall right in the right rear quarter panel. And it's a big one for both of them.
Yeah, that was just the 8 car sending it in too deep, and Mark Vickers having too worn of tires to be able to hold it up on that outside line. And speaking of, we have our battle for the lead under a second, it looks like. It's floating at that 1 second range. Colton Gardner's been quietly making gains on our leader, Caden McAravey.
I think we should call him Ghosted McAravey, because I can hardly even see him half the time. He just disappears and rejoins over and over and over again. And also behind that, actually, somehow, Justin Nieves has found his way and caught himself up to Tyler Vickery. You think the front battle is tight. Look at this one behind. They're side by side coming out of turn 2. Oh, yeah, they're really tight. And that was Justin Nieves. I remember mentioning at the, earlier on in this race, he was so far back, and now he just cruises past Tyler. Like, it's not even there. That tire saving is making a huge difference right here in the second half of this stint. Now, do you think that these guys that were running in the top are going to change up their strategy now that they see how much these tires are falling off at the end?
I think yes. I think we're going to see the person that's going to be making the most changes is that 24 car.
Yeah.
Started on pole and he fell back to, he's in P4 right now, but
Yeah.
he's fallen off like a rock. So I think we're going to see, as we see Justin in the wall there a bit, but it doesn't hurt his momentum too much.
No, yeah.
But I think that 24 is going to be way more careful on defending positions and attacking positions.
Yeah, he
I
needs
think
to
he's
be.
going to
Push
do
taps
like
the
what
wall
the 8
a little bit.
and the 82 are doing, as now he
Yeah.
looks like he's under threat from that 13 car as well.
Yeah, he is really losing out a lot of positions. Now, I know we're talking a little bit about tires, but is there a potentiality? It's some nerves. Oh, speaking of nerves, look at him actually goes wide up into the wall, saves it, because he can go low underneath the apron into the start-finish line. But Tyler Vickery seems to be pushing a little bit too hard. And now he's going to let the 13 get right up underneath him. Dude, I'm thinking some of it might be just the nerves as well, because Tyler knows if he does well in this race, he can, all but mentally seal up the championship for himself, because he's trying to defend his championship from last season. But if he doesn't, remember, take a look at these standings. Colton Gardner, Caden McRavey, Eric Richardson, Brian McKinney, all looking to take that lead spot at the end of the race tonight if they can. So, he's got suitors.
And everyone's getting into the wall.
Yeah, everyone's trying to push hard. That's those tires just falling off.
Yeah, I think Tyler just needs to cool down. I think he is mentally stressed right now. He seems to be driving. He's like entering corners poorly, and I think what he needs to do is just calm down. There's about 3 laps until our comp yellow, so he just needs to go to his happy place mentally and stop making these mistakes.
Yeah, and speaking of that comp yellow, it could not come quicker for Mark Vickers, who's right now sitting in 6th, a whole 23 seconds away from the lead. But now he's just barely holding off DJ Flick as well, as DJ's looking to make a pass on track. He hasn't gotten a chance to make a whole ton of these this season, so I'm sure he's licking his chops looking for a move here on one of our best drivers in the league. DJ, now's your time. Let's see what you got. He's catching Mark making mistakes. Mark's, trading paints at the wall quite often. There's a shot here for DJ. He can get it done before the competition caution. That's going to give him tons of confidence going to the second half of the race.
As we see the 13 and the 82 side by side, as the 13 just kind of cruises around the 82.
Yep. Yeah, Justin Nieves is he's just totally fallen off as well, because he had a few push laps right there, and Eric has not been pushing whatsoever. He's just been cruising. Now he's sitting in 3rd, even though that 3rd place is 9 seconds away from the lead. 3rd place nonetheless.
Yeah, 3rd place sets you up good for that restart.
Big time.
If you can get on and get off a pit road almost perfectly,
yeah.
Then I remember last season in the ARCA cars, I entered pit road P7 and I left P3. So
wow.
As much as there's only usually 1 cycle of pit stops. If you can get it right, it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a make or break, I can imagine. Well, we got about 21.5 minutes left of this race. Competition caution is flying. We're going to go ahead and check out our leader right here, Mr. Ghostin McRavey, who's going to find his way into the pits. Not this lap. Next lap. Let's get some fresh boots. Top up that tank. Get back out there now. This blinking. I'm wondering, if this is going to become a... Oh, actually almost blinks straight into the safety car. He does go right to the safety car. Slow it down. I'm wondering if this is going to become an issue to the point that people are complaining to the race stewards and then taking a mention of this. What do you think?
I'm not 100% sure, because at the moment, it seems like Caden is the only one that's blinking pretty badly. Yeah. And he was last season as well. That's one thing that I noticed in the ARCA cars, because when we, 2 seasons ago in the trucks, Caden wasn't blinking at all. He was actually super clean and solid, and then seemingly out of nowhere in the ARCA, he started having all these blinking problems, and it's kind of carried over to the next gens as well.
Hmm.
As we see everyone on pit road.
Yep.
Oh, that's a bad camera.
They're all gonna go ahead and, like I said, get those boots and fill up those tanks. Tyler Vickery, he slot into his pit spot. Oh, Tyler Vickery had to back up. He missed his spot. Oh, that is heartbreak. He can't find it. There it is, finally. Oh, that's
finally
bad.
Got it.
That's really bad.
A good race off pit road. I think. I'm not sure. Did Colin Gardner get he did get the race off pit road.
Yeah, he did. Great launch. The Colton Gardner to Caden McRaven to Eric Richardson to Justin Nieves to Mark Vickers to Tyler Vickery in 6th now. Wow, and DJ in 7th, Brian McKinney in 8th. Tough for Brian McKinney after that big spin, obviously. Leading up the back of the pack, but wow. I mean, look, and I mentioned, Tyler Vickery in 5th, but look at the gap as to which he's in 5th by. It is 15 seconds between him and Mark Vickers was the difference coming out of the pits. That is massive. That's what happens when you miss your pit box. That's not a race ender, but also not a race ender.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference in your position in this restart. Oh, no. Do you think that's the nerves right there? I'm sure that's the nerves.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also a lack of knowing pit roads. Because, like,
good point.
with this league only having one yellow, you only really pit once. So there's not really, unless you go in and practice pitting, you don't really know where your pit box is until that one crucial stop.
That's a really good point. And, I can personally say in all the GT3 racing I do, which I'm super excited for next season because of which, but I do a ton of GT3 racing, and one thing I purposely do is practice pit entry because I don't want to get caught out, in the moment like that where I can't find my pit box. Now, I also think that when you get pole position in your pit box at the farthest front, it definitely hurts because you just cannot see your guy through the other cars.
Yeah.
It makes it really hard, to find your box. Makes a big difference. So that's something to note as well and give some grace towards. Now we're
there's nothing
more lap behind safety car. What were you gonna say?
There's nothing more defeating than like rolling through your pit box and then having to throw it in reverse and back up.
It's the worst, especially when you roll through so far that it actually disqualifies you. I've done that. I've definitely done that. Well, hey, I just had a little mention about the GT3 season GT3 series next season. How stoked are you for that?
I'm actually really excited for that. I wasn't a road person when I first joined iRacing, and then I grew a huge appreciation for it because I live right next to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. I live within 10 minutes of that racetrack.
Oh my god.
And actually, a little side story before we go green. My grandfather worked at the racetrack, so I got free tickets to all the major events.
Got to see last year, races. That's awesome.
Last year, I went to the IMSA race, the NASCAR race, and the IndyCar race, all completely free.
That is cool. Wow, yeah. I believe we're going to Mid-Ohio on the calendar, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Well, hey, speaking of where we're going to go racing pretty soon. Colton Gardner will be restarting us. Caden McRaven in 2nd. Eric Richardson biting at the bit in 3rd. And Justin Nieves in 4th. It's a great start for the 40. Holy smoke-a-rolly. That is Colton Gardner flying away from the pack. He wants to get off and get going as quick as possible. And if we noticed in the last stint, Caden McRaven, once he was gone. Nobody could catch him. So I'm sure that's kind of what Colton Gardner saw, and he's like, hey, let me do the same thing. But Eric Richardson, after falling so far behind early on in this race, he's now sitting in 3rd place, being challenged by the 82 car behind him and Tyler Vickery behind him. Remember, the blinking Caden McRaven is sitting in 2nd. Now in 6th, we got, looks like Brian McKinney, 7th, Mark Vickers, 8th, DJ Look, and it's going to be the 13 car taking the high line against Justin Nieves. Justin Nieves wants that position. He's going to say, hey, I'll take the early challenges, which is the backward strategy as to what Nieves did last time. Before the competition caution, Nieves was way in the back, wasn't he? And then he started climbing up. Yeah, a little bit different.
One thing that I'm noticing is the top line is not getting the launch that it got in the first restart.
No, it's not.
Or I guess start.
Yeah,
maybe it's because the 13 is not pushing as hard, but I can just see an impatient 24 looking to get around both these guys.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and go on his cockpit camera. We can see exactly what impatience looks like personified. He's got 2 cars in front of him. They're obviously going as fast as they possibly can, but for Tyler Vickery right now, that's not fast enough because he can just see the leaders flying away from him. He might make a move down the inside in between all. Oh, no, he's not going to have that middle line right here. That would have been absolutely nasty. He's pushing those tires to the max, so I can hear him just a little bit. They're screaming under the pressure, and he's going to take the outside line. He gets past 1. He's going to look now for the inside line underneath the 13. Wow, Tyler Vickery's on the run right here, and he's going to go down low into 3. Can he stick with it? I think he can. Holy smokes, Tyler Vickery, what a run. Makes 2 passes in 2 corners. He's up into 3rd, chasing down the top 2 guys. But they're pretty far away. That's already 1.5 seconds between them and Tyler Vickery. And now
we got the 84 looking under the 24. They're side by side.
So this backpack is pretty entertaining, actually. They're going pretty ham right now.
Yeah, as I think, checking in our leaders real quick, I think our leaders are just set on running single file right now as all these guys are running in a pack behind them, which is just allowing the leaders to get seconds ahead. The gap's already 2 seconds to our top 2.
Wow, that has grown so quickly. I do want to take a look at the number 8 car, Brian McKinney. He's technically sitting in second to last place right here. DJ Flick sitting in the back. DJ's actually almost looking for a run on the outside of him. And wow, Eric Richardson fall from grace all the way back into 6th right now. I don't know exactly what happened to him. Just had a couple back corners or something. Maybe he decided to back off and start saving. But we've got Eric Richardson just behind Justin Nieves. And we got a down low car of Brian McKinney. He's going to go underneath Eric Richardson. Wants to get it
just jumping in here, we see the 3 take over the lead from the 40. He made a dive to the inside, and it looked like the 40 just gave it to him.
Yeah, I think Colton's probably realizing, it's not worth it to challenge too much because Colton was one of the ones that got passed up at the very end by people with fresher tires. He probably saw how much of a difference it made. He says, right now, chillax a little bit, drinking coffee, driving, not really worried too much about going as the race progresses.
Yeah, now the 84, the 24, and the 82 really just need to work together to catch these lead 2 cars.
Now, this is racing, though. Do you really expect them to work together?
That's true. The 84 and the 24 have had some run-ins in the past, so.
That they have. And right now, obviously, we don't want to see that. We also slightly do because that always adds some drama. So let's see if Tyler Vickery is going to push his luck anytime soon and try to get himself up into 3rd. Right now, with Caden McAravey sitting in the top spot, it's going to really help his championship along with Colton Gardner. Tyler Vickery being in 4th, that is a huge blow to his championship potentials. And I mean, as of right now, if this grid order finishes exactly as it is right here, Caden McAravey would take the lead. I believe Colton Gardner would sit in 2nd. Mark would sit in 3rd. Like, it's that close right now. Want to take a look at that? If I saw, sorry, Mark Vickers would not sit in 3rd. He would still be back there. Tyler would then be in 3rd. Caden are 2nd and 3rd right now.
As we see the 24 under the 84 again.
Look at him go.
I personally do not think that this is smart. The gap is now almost 3 seconds to our lead 2, and we saw what happens to the 24 when he tries to be a super aggressive for super long.
Yeah, it does not work. His tires get burnt out so hard. And Justin Nieves is basically up on the gearbox now. Waiting for a mistake. Oh, he taps the ball on his way in 3. So, I don't know. That was very great.
You see Eric Richardson get pretty close to that 82 car.
Almost frightening.
That's gonna open the door for the 8. Man,
Yeah,
this racing back here is
really good, isn't it?
exciting.
Yeah, wow. They're going ham from start to finish. I mean, I always like going on the cockpit camera, just to see what the drivers see because, you know, me, I'm a driver myself, and I just love watching hardcore racing, especially from the point of view of the racer. And right now, I'm watching Eric Richardson give it everything he's got. He's watching, you know, Justin Nieves, Tyler Vickery, and Mark Vickers have the fight of their life. As right now, it's looking like Nieves is able to make another position up, and that's Tyler Vickery down another one. He's now sitting back in 5th. Wow.
Yeah, I think that 82 car might be able to get it past the 84 as well.
You think so?
I think he was saving his tires in the beginning. We'll see. He's made up a lot of time on both of those drivers, and we'll just see where it takes them.
Yeah, but now he's starting to hang back a little bit, slow it down, kind of, you know, settle into a bit of a groove. Tyler Vickery is down the low line underneath the apron once again. At the very top, it's still Caden McRavey and Colton Gardner. That's all she wrote between the two of them, effectively. They're just kind of running their race, having a good time.
Oh, the 24 got a little loose exiting that corner, and now he's going to fall back pretty heavily.
Oh, no.
The 82 got around him, and the 13 got around him, and now the 8 is also looking to make a move.
He's going to get blocked off, surely. Yeah, Brian McKinney couldn't find a way through. After McKinney, you know, had that awesome middle stint on that last set of tires before the competition caution. Now he's fallen all the way back down from grace after that big crash with Mark Vickers, who's sitting in 3rd somehow. Even though the gap between Mark Vickers and Colton Gardner is now 4 seconds. It's 4 seconds from Mark Vickers to the lead pack. That's a big gap to climb.
You see the 8 trying to make a move under the 13.
Not there.
He doesn't have it just yet. He's still not clear.
Oh, almost though.
That's...
Yeah, he's gonna run Eric wide. Smart, as you should. Just be a little bit later on the lift.
Yeah, that top line. I'm one of the fans of the top line as well, because you're able to get back on the throttle so much faster.
Yeah.
And when you like entering the corner, you're not faster, but you get such a huge run in the center and exiting that you just shoot past people.
Yeah.
On the back straight.
Look at Mark Vickers and Justin Nieves. Nieves is now shot past Mark Vickers. He's sitting in 3rd. Caught Mark sleeping a little bit. Now Justin might be getting some pretty good points. A little bit out of nowhere. Tyler Vickery needs to get... Oh! Bit of a mistake from Mark Vickers.
It's into the wall.
Saved it, though. But that's going to let Tyler Vickery get right up behind him. Tyler needs this so bad if he's going to have a shot at, you know, regaining at least a little bit of ground. Because he's been using those tires pretty hard. He's been fighting pretty hard from the start of this stint. And he can't afford to have a bad result tonight. He needs to get the highest points possible. It doesn't matter if, you know, say Mark Vickers is below him in the championship. Those are points that he needs from those higher positions that he won't get if someone like Mark Vickers, you know, finishes in front of him.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
as you see the 84 falling off now.
Yeah, he definitely is a little bit. I could see Tyler Vickery making a pretty bold run at 3rd place the next couple laps. They're side by side. He does not want this. He wants to just get in front, but it's just not happening for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't want to give, does Mark Vickers. He says, no. Let me hold this spot. I don't care if you have a championship to fight for. I want it. And I'm a fan of that. It's just letting Justin Nieves just run away.
Absolutely.
He's got 1.5 seconds between him and Tyler. Though he has 4.5 seconds back from the leader, it doesn't really matter. Nieves is kind of in his own world. Tyler's finally past the 84. 84 is going to take
I think he's going to get into the wall. As we see Eric diving 3 wide, he's going to get clear of both of them, it looks like. Oh, just the 84 is... Now we see the 8 under the 84 again.
Look at them go in the back. What?
That 8 car has been quiet this second half.
He definitely took
hang off.
Yeah, he took notes. He said, "Oh, last stint, I learned something. Let me go and put that to use." He's really putting that to use. We got 10 laps to go here in Kansas, and this has been very tight in the back. Now, obviously, the very front pack has been anything but tight. It's Caden McRae leading the race with Colton Gardner sitting in second.
Tyler Vickery sending it into the grass, and he's gonna get spun around.
Tyler, he completes the 360 right up into his pit box, which is kind of, I'll give him some style points for that one. But he is done.
I think that's gonna be the end of Tyler Vickery.
Yep, he's gonna. So I'm on the replay right here. Looks like he goes wide, taps the wall big. Oh, and that's just driver error right there for Tyler Vickery. Yeah, that's tough. He's sitting in his pit box. He is done, I think.
As we see everybody else is kind of like, okay, let's just calm down now.
Yep, let's just roll. Yeah. So
yeah.
DJ Fluke now sitting in 7th as he inherits free position. So there you go for DJ. 9 to go. 7 drivers left here. Tyler Vickery now out of the race. That is heartbreaking for him. He was our championship leader going into tonight's race, and now he's going to take 0 points. Now, I personally wouldn't have done that. I would have stayed in because you would get points just by finishing right now. I would have stayed, but, that's just me. This is what I call an Oprah race, where you get a point and you get a point. Everybody gets a point.
Yeah.
So I would have stuck with it, but at the same time, I understand why Tyler Vickery wanted to. That must be extremely infuriating to spin out on your own volition like that with less than 10 laps to go. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Caden's just gonna walk off with this one. The gap to the lead is not getting any smaller. No, it's actually growing kind of a lot.
Yeah, he's flying. He's got almost a whole second on Colton right now.
We'll see if Colton's got anything left in the tank. But after a surprise win last week and kind of a dominant win this week, I think Caden McRae.
Yeah. He's looking like he might be the favorite. Do you think he's the favorite now? If he wins tonight, would you say Caden McRae is the favorite going into the championship finale in Phoenix?
Possibly. I remember the last time we had a champ race at Phoenix was season 3, and actually Caden won the championship in season 3 as well.
You're looking to do it again.
Possibly. As just to throw this in there, there's a pretty good battle shaping up between the 13 and the 8 car right now.
There is.
They're side by side.
Yeah.
Going across the straight.
Yeah, McKinney doesn't want to give this one up. He knows that little bit of extra points is going to make a big difference. This final little bit of the championship. And Brian McKinney right now, not necessarily had the best season, but right now he's only 7 points behind Eric Richardson. And Eric Richardson is still honestly in the fight for the championship. Like, he is still in it. Same thing with Brian McKinney, in my opinion, also still in it. He's only 13 points away from the lead right now. So I think they're both still very much so in it, which makes sense why they're fighting so hard, and neither one of them wants to give up an inch. These points that they're going to get for finishing, that could make or break the end of the season for them. Do I see Mark Vickers out?
Oh, yeah, I guess I haven't seen him.
What happened to Mark Vickers? Oh, wow. Yeah. I'm back on Mark Vickers' camera here. Yeah, Mark Vickers. He must have had a little bit of a spin, kept it going, but he decided at one point just to go into the pits. Yeah, it looks like he's gone and retired, so Mark Vickers is out of the race as well. We're going to go on to on Brian McKinney camera. Still in that fight with the 13 of Eric Richardson. Now we're down to just 6 drivers here tonight for the last couple laps. And 2 to go is officially thrown as Caden McRae crosses the start-finish line. Trailed up by Colton Gardner with Justin Nieves a whole 7 seconds behind. Behind that, he's got Eric Richardson, who's about 2 seconds back from Justin Nieves. And Brian McKinney's still fighting for that 5th spot. DJ Fluke pretty far away from the rest of the pack. Almost quite getting lapped, but he's almost getting lapped, but not quite. But he'll be able to hold that, I'm sure.
As we are coming to the white flag, all Caden McAravey has to do now is just hit his marks, and
Oh, yeah.
he will have this locked up. He doesn't need to push at all.
Nope.
He's still got 9/10 on Colton.
Well,
Colton's probably gonna send it into 3 and 4 here.
he
but
just sent it out of 2. I mean, he just gained 2/10. So he's flying. By all means, he's absolutely flying. But I think Caden McAravey is just going to, he'll have it. That's it. Caden McAravey is your race winner here tonight in Kansas. Well done to Caden McAravey. He is going to love the results of that. That's 2 races in a row winning for the number 3 car. And that's going to really help his championship standings with Colton Gardner coming home in 2nd and Justin Nieves taking home the final step of the podium in 3rd. 4th place goes to Eric Richardson, and 5th goes to Brian McKinney. Brian McKinney could not quite eclipse at the very end, but he got really, really, really close to getting Eric Richardson, but just not quite. DJ Fluck comes home at the back in 6th of those who finished. Mark Vickers in 7th. Not finishing. Wow, wow, wow. That was wild. I'm so impressed with Caden McAravey. That was dominant.
As he's burning it down now.
Oh,
I was just gonna say, Caden's been kind of like silently good this whole season.
Yeah, he has.
As he's doing the Dale Earnhardt burnout in the grass.
Oh yeah, well,
But-
it's easier to burn out there. I would do it too. Much easier. The fireworks, they are for him. He doesn't have to ask the Lando question of those fireworks for me. Those definitely are for him. That was wild. Yeah, I think Caden McAravey is looking really, really, really good going into this final step of the season, the final race. Looking solid. I don't see Caden in the driver chat. Let me see.
He wasn't in the driver chat last week either. I remember we had to go and try and find him somewhere to get him.
Yep, I
into
just
the
sent him
chat.
one.
Yeah, I'm excited for Phoenix.
Oh, there's Caden.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Caden. Great. How are you? Obviously, you're doing great.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was despicable, man. You wiped the floor. Did you just, besides not getting pole, I think you led almost every single lap.
Yeah, as I said last week, I just love racetracks that the high line is kind of the fastest line. I just kind of love being up by the wall. So that was, Kansas
Wow.
is one of my favorite tracks. So
That makes sense. Yeah, you absolutely flew from the start. That was mind-bogglingly quick. Now, you were blinking a little bit. Obviously, you didn't see it. But it obviously didn't, have any sort of hindrance on your performance. You just destroyed. How much practice have you put in here at Kansas?
Kansas, not a lot with next gen. I kind of did my first laps with the next gen on Monday, kind of get a feel for it. But with the trucks and the Xfinity cars, when this is on the official schedule for iRacing, it's definitely my favorite week because I just love getting up on the wall. But
that makes sense. Yeah. I think if anybody was gonna win tonight, it was definitely gonna be you. Just like as soon as the race started, you just seemed so comfortable and so dominant. This really is gonna help your championship standings since now you are sitting pretty comfortable in the lead since Tyler Vickery forfeited out of this race. And Colton Gardner, though he did finish, in 2nd place, you only had a 4-point deficit to him going into this race. So I believe you still eclipsed him in the standings. So that.
yeah, and that's big because Phoenix is definitely not my strong suit of racetracks. I always tend to struggle there. So it's kind of good to have at least a little bit of cushion to see what happens next week. But
now, why do you feel like Phoenix is a track that you struggle on?
I don't know if it's just pure mile and a halves tend to be my strong suit just because it's the same thing every turn. With a place like Phoenix, it's just the different kinds of turns and the dog leg. I just I really can't just get a grip on it. But maybe in the next gen car it'll be a little bit different, but we'll see.
Now, I personally actually live out in Phoenix, and I can personally tell you that that the track itself always brings a lot of action. So I'm hoping that next week it brings a lot of action here as well.
For sure.
Dude, thank you so much for jumping in here, and I wish you the best luck next week. Let's go ahead and chat with Colton. Colton, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Colton, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Got a nice solid P2 right there. It's pretty fun to race Caden right there.
Yeah, P2 is definitely good for you right now. That puts you just barely behind Caden in the championship standings. So going into Phoenix, are you feeling pretty confident, or are you a little bit wary like Caden is?
I like Phoenix, and as long as like I can get the tires to wear the way I want them, I feel like I might have a chance. But it's I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very interesting. This is the tightest battle we've had in Wednesday Night Dash, so it's going to be a watcher.
I know. I feel pretty blessed that I get to be a part of it and I get to watch it. Tonight's race was obviously you basically just kind of chasing down Caden. Did you ever feel like, you were just, I guess, is this track not really your strong suit? Or obviously you still came home second, so it's pretty strong for you. But what do you think was the big difference between you and Caden?
He was able to hold a more consistent line, and I didn't really save the tires as well as I thought I did on the second run. And he was able to just pull away there at the end. I should have just saved my tires a little bit more, but it was a lot of fun doing that. Because this track, it sort of like mimics Darlington, how you have to run the top lane most of the time. And I won at Darlington. And in Highline, another racing league that I'm in, and it really helped me with like running up against the wall. Learned a lot doing that.
That makes sense. Well, I'll go ahead and let you go, but thank you so much for jumping in here. And again, I'm really excited to see you next week at Phoenix. Let's go ahead and give our last little bit of love to Mr. Justin Nieves. Justin, you came out of nowhere. That first stint, obviously, it seemed like you were struggling a little bit for the first, maybe 20-ish laps, but just something kicked in and you started flying. And you end up on the podium. Talk me through your race.
Well, yeah, that was interesting considering I ran about 10 minutes of practice right before I hopped in all week.
Perfect.
So
perfect. That's all you needed.
Yeah, that's all I needed, right? Yeah, so the tire fall off seemed to be pretty significant there in the first run for me for whatever reason. And then I was watching the guys up front, Caden and Hunter, and trying to understand whether or not where I needed to run at. And yeah, so I kind of changed my line a little bit, and it seemed to hold a little bit better. And I think just those five less laps there on the last stint made it a little bit easier. But I was really struggling there at the end. I don't know if you can tell. I slammed the wall a couple of times pretty good. I thought Brian or Eric were going to sneak up there and grab the podium, but I managed to hang on to it.
Yeah, a couple little wall tats, but nothing too crazy. Well, hey, that was by far your best result. Congratulations. That was mega. You were sitting at 10th place in the standings before today, and I know I think that will give you more than 8 points. So, DJ, Justin has now eclipsed you, I believe, and now it's time for you to chase down some more for the last race. That was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in.
Justin, can I ask you something real fast? How did you manage getting through the carnage that was P3 through like P6 or 7? Because it was constant side-by-side racing, everyone dive bombing each other, everyone sliding up, hitting the wall. It was crazy there for like 10 or so laps.
I look, I'd love to say it was good driving skill, but most of what you see me doing is mostly luck. So I try to throw it in there a little bit, but I don't practice nearly as much as I probably should. So hopefully that doesn't reflect of my on track performance. But yeah, I don't know. It just most of the time I attribute that to luck.
Well, as I say, every squirrel finds its nut sometime.
Yeah,
we definitely did. Yeah, that was great. That was an awesome race. Well, I'm excited to see you next week in Phoenix. Good luck on your preparation with I know you'll spend maybe this time 15 minutes instead of just 10.
Yeah, I'll shoot for 15 next week.
All right, sweet. Well, that's improvement.
All right.
All right, Justin, we'll see you later.
We'll see you.
Well, Hunter, I want to say thanks for joining me here tonight. That was awesomely fun. I'm sure you're pretty stoked for next week, aren't you?
Yeah. Phoenix is always a really fun track to drive, but also commentate. Because the one thing about Phoenix is the dog leg, which you can
Yes.
get right next to pit wall, and it's totally legal. So
Yeah,
I feel like
it-
we're going to see quite a few drivers doing that next week.
Yeah, people will be using every single bit of track that they are legally allowed to use, and I'm excited for it. Well, I want to say thank you again to everybody who's come down here and watched. Thank you so much to Stadium Scene TV for hosting us. Thank you so much to our amazing sponsor, the Daily Dribble, and thank you so much to the audience. You guys are all wonderful. We shall see y'all next week for the season finale here on Wednesday Night Dash at Phoenix. Until then, keep being wonderful. Keep making the world a better place. We're out of here.